In the program, I was like, man, this program, like, that was me, y'all. I was like, I don't want to do this. This is hard. But babes, welcome back to my channel. My name is Businesswrenee. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to start a graphic design business, how to price your business, and everything like that. So whether you are trying to get into graphic design because you want to do it as a side hustle, you think about doing it as a career, whatever the case may be, I'm going to tell you guys a little experience about me and my suggestions and everything like that. So if you are interested in getting these digital dollars, then just keep on watching this video. I have a story on my channel. I have a video on my channel about how I started graphic design, how I got into it. So I'm not gonna really get into my story. I'll try to link that video down below if y'all want to go see that, and then y'all come back and watch this, however y'all want to do it. First, we're going to talk about systems. So the two systems that I use is Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. It really just depends on what type of graphic design that you want to do. If you want to do logos, if you want to do flyers, if you want to be a motion graphic designer that just make motion graphics, if you want to do just YouTube intros, if you want to just do websites. It really depends on what you want to do. But me, I am a brand designer, so I mainly do brand identities. So I mainly use Photoshop and Illustrator. So if you want to start doing logos, you have to do logos in Illustrator. And the reason why you have to do logos in Illustrator and not Photoshop is because Illustrator is a vector program, which means that if you blow up the logo, like let's just say you make a logo for somebody and they want to put it on a banner and they want to make it really, really big. No matter how big you make that logo, it's never going to get pixelized. As opposed to if you make a logo in Photoshop, and when you blow it up, it'll look all pixelized and it'll just look all grainy, and because it's not a vector image. A vector image, I don't know the exact definitions, y'all gonna have to Google it, but I know with a vector image, no matter how much you blow it up, it will never be pixelized. It'll always look real smooth, you know. But with Photoshop, not really. I use Photoshop for I use it for my collateral. So I'll make thank you cards in there, I'll make my business cards, stuff like that, or I'll make my mock-ups for my clients. But everything else is pretty much done in Illustrator. So I personally love Illustrator. I self-taught myself Illustrator. So I went to school for Photoshop, but they didn't teach us Illustrator. So I actually learned Illustrator myself, self-taught, you feel me? Learn straight off of YouTube and Skillshare. I took a class on Skillshare on how to use Photoshop. This is not sponsored, by the way, but if Skillshare wants to sponsor me, listen, my email down below, we can work. But I did a class on Skillshare, and I did a class on Skillshare, and I took a class for Photoshop in high school, and I just learned Illustrator off YouTube and Skillshare. I also have a Photoshop class right now. So if you guys are interested in learning Photoshop for beginners and you don't want to go through hours and hours and hours and hours of boring ass YouTube videos, because trust me, these videos can get boring and they can give you a headache, and they go super fast. So it's really hard to learn graphics off of YouTube. But I have a pre-recorded Photoshop class right now where I teach you the beginning basics of Photoshop, and I teach you how to make flyers and how to make templates off of Photoshop. So it is super beginner friendly. I go over every step twice just to make sure that you get it. You can slow the video down however you want at your pace, but every step I go over twice. It is super beginner friendly. I teach you guys where to get mock-ups. I teach you guys where to get certain photos and everything like that. So it is an amazing class, and I definitely think you guys should check it out. The link is in the bio. It is called the Ultimate Photoshop Class, and because I love y'all so much, you definitely always get a discount code on everything on my website. So make sure you use the code YouTube and save you some dollars on the Photoshop class. But that is definitely an option if you guys are trying to learn how to use Photoshop and make flyers, then definitely check out my class. I spend about $20 a month for Photoshop and then $20 a month for Illustrator. So in total, I spend about $40 a month. If you are a college student, you can definitely get a discount. If you're a college student, I think if you get a business account, which I'm still trying to figure out how to do that, or something like that, or you can get the Adobe Studio where you can get every single Adobe program for like $52 a month. But I don't have that because I don't need every program. I just need them too. So, but that's total day, you know, that's your preference. Whatever you want to do, Miss Mamas. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how exactly do you know if you'll be good at graphic design. So really, if you are a creative spirit, then you will definitely be good at graphic design. If you're good at putting colors together, if you're just a creative person overall, then graphic design will definitely be for you. If you are a creative person and you are tech savvy, so when you are learning graphic design, you will spend hours and hours and hours on the computer. So you have to be tech savvy. You gotta like technology. Like, you gotta like technology. You gotta get excited about creating things. You got to get excited about putting colors together. Like, graphic design is not just no quick easy money, because you actually have to be really good at it in order for people to hire you, and we're going to talk about that next. But just really have to be creative. You have to be tech savvy, and you have to be patient with yourself, because graphic design does take some time to learn. It definitely takes a lot of practice, but if you put in a lot of practice, you will definitely be good at it. Just like me with Illustrator, I was determined to learn how to use Illustrator because I wanted to improve my craft. Once I found out about the whole you can't really make logos in Photoshop type thing, I wanted to learn Illustrator. So number one, I can perfect my craft, and number two, I can charge more money for my service, because the better you are, the more money you can charge, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the better you are, the more money you can charge. So I was determined to learn Illustrator, and I'm not gonna lie, it was so hard for me. Like, I was so frustrated. I kept deleting the program. I was like, man, this program, like, that was me, y'all. I was like, I don't want to do this. This is hard. But I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna give up. I re-downloaded it and I learned it, and here we are. I am a pro. Okay. So with that being said, y'all definitely have to be patient with yourself and don't give up, because it is gonna be times where it's gonna be hard. But if you are dedicated and really want to be in graphic design, then definitely take patience. So now we're going to talk about how to get clients and how to get yourself out there. So with graphic design, you need to do something called passion projects. So passion projects is where you do like fake businesses, like just come up with a fake business name and just do passion projects. That's to get yourself out there and build a portfolio, because nobody is going to hire you if they don't see your work. So I would definitely suggest to do passion projects, just to get yourself out there. Like, do different types of businesses and do different types of work. If you do passion projects, don't make them all the same. Like, do different types of work so people can see everything that you do. Working for free. So you can do free work. Now, if you are doing a website, I would highly suggest maybe to do like 1 or 2 free websites, only so people can see your work, because I know it's kind of hard to do a fake website for a fake business. I don't even really know how you would do that. I know if you're doing logos or flyers, you can easily do like fake business, and you know, just to build your portfolio. But for a website, or if you're doing YouTube intros, I know when I was doing YouTube intros, I did a few people's intros for free. I was like, hey, 5 people DM me right now within this hour to get a free YouTube intro. So I did a few people's YouTube intros for free, and yeah. So if you're doing websites or YouTube intros, I would definitely suggest maybe 1 or 2 free people. Don't go overboard doing a whole bunch of free work. Like, don't do that to yourself. You want to think about what type of graphic designer you want to be. Like, who do you want to work with? Do you want to work with more masculine people? Like, do you want to, like, when I say masculine people, I mean, like, do you want to do more like men's projects, women projects? So do you want to work with the beauty brands, the eyelash companies, the clothing, the women's clothing brands? Or do you want to work with guys? Most guys have like t-shirt brands, mixtape covers. You just kind of got to decide who exactly you want to work with. I mainly work with women. I've done a few projects for guys, but I mainly work with women. So I mean, I won't turn down a guy if he comes to me and say, hey, can you do this? You know, I mean, I'll do it, but I don't have any masculine work to show, because I mainly cater to women. So, you know, I mean, but shoot, if you still want to work with me, hey. So definitely that, but you just have to figure out what type of designer that you want to be, because if you do more mixtape covers than if you do like more mixtape covers and more like art for, you know, masculine, a girl who owns a hair company isn't going to work with you, and then vice versa. So you definitely have to kind of figure out what type of work that you want to do, who do you want to work with. And it's not like who has more money than who, like which industry makes more money. I mean, it's pretty much the same industry. I know if you do mixtape covers, you could probably get signed on to a record label to do mixtape covers for their artists. I know I follow a few graphic designers who actually work with like record labels, and they're on like a contract to do mixtape covers for their artists. So that's the passion for you to do. That wasn't really my forte. I mean, I can do it, but I don't want to. That's not what I was trying to do. So it's totally up to you, depending on who you want to work with. And then really just kind of like promoting yourself, putting yourself out there. Facebook groups. There's a Instagram page. It's called Find Designers or something like that, and you can pay them to promote your design page on their Instagram page for people who are looking for graphic designers. It's a bunch of pages like that on Instagram. You can definitely follow them, and they can promote you and stuff like that. So you really just gotta go on Instagram and look. Facebook groups, it's a lot of stuff out there. It's a lot of stuff out there that you can do to promote your business. So yeah, so that's just a way that you can just get yourself out there and really promote your graphic business. Next thing is the pricing. So pricing is very different depending on graphic designers. So for me, I'm a brand designer, so I don't just make logos, I make brands. I come up with full-blown brand identity. So I come up with the colors, the mood board, the different variations of logos. I come up with the whole thing. So with me, that's gonna be a little bit more expensive. So I charge a little pretty penny. I mean, I don't know, because to me, I feel like my services are not that expensive, but to somebody else, it may be expensive. So I charge $1,200 for my brand identity projects, but you know, that's just me. I've been in the game for a long time. I know what I can bring to brands. I'm very confident in myself. But if you're just starting out, I would suggest don't start your prices too low. Like, don't do logos for $25, because if you do logos for $25 and you're trying to make $1,000 a month, that's like 100 logos just to make $2,500 a month. You don't want to burn yourself out, because as graphic designers, it is easy to get burnt out because we sit on the computer all day. So it is very easy to get burned out in the industry, and you don't want to do that. So I would suggest to start off in the medium range, maybe like $60-$70. You know what I'm saying? $70 for a logo. I think that's the okay way to start off. And then the better that you get with your skills, the more money that you can charge. So don't try to charge an arm and a leg and a foot when you're in the beginning stages. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're in the beginning stages and you really kind of don't know what you're doing, but you're getting your little feet wet and everything like that, but you're not really advanced, don't try to charge a whole arm and a leg and your work does not look like an arm and a leg and a foot. You know what I'm saying? Definitely start low, and then once you get better at your craft, and once your clientele starts to grow, then up your prices, and keep upping your prices and upping your prices. The better your work gets, the more you up your prices, up your prices, up your prices, up your prices, until you get them to exactly where you want them to be. Because that's me. Like, I want to eventually, well, I'm not gonna tell you how much I want to charge, but right now I'm charging $1,200, and then when I get even better and better and better, I'm gonna go up higher. You know, and cons of being a graphic designer. The pros is that I can work anywhere. So I can take my laptop and I can work anywhere in the world. I love the fact that I don't have to ship off anything. Everything is just straight email, all that stuff like that. Straight emails and everything like that, and client portals. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys about oh my God, I can't believe I forgot about Dubsado. We gonna talk about that. That, and just being able to be creative. I love being creative. I love putting brands together. I love bringing people's visions to life. That's just me. I'm very good at it. So that's what I like to do. Now the cons, and this isn't a con for me anymore, but it was a con. A con is that sometimes you can work with clientele that's just, that's why I say don't be cheap with your work, you guys, because the cheaper that you are, the clientele isn't going to be the best. Because when you have cheap prices, you attract the cheap clientele that's always bugging you. They want all this stuff. They want 20 revisions. Like it just be too much. So sometimes when you have cheap prices, you have that cheap clientele. Another thing that's a con, I really don't have too many cons because I love my job. I think just as many hours you spend at the computer, because sometimes I do get so tired and I just be like, oh my God, you spending so many hours at the computer. But you know, I mean, that's the way we play the game. That's just the way we play the game, you know what I'm saying? So that's that. But really, I don't have too many cons because I love graphic design. Like it's my passion. It's what I like to do. I'm sorry, y'all, my eyelashes is throwing up gang signs. It's my passion. It's what I like to do. You know what I'm saying? It's just like what I like to do. So I don't really have too many cons about it. Last thing. Oh, Dubsado. So I missed Dubsado when I was talking about systems. Oh, and okay, we forget so much stuff. Okay, so let's talk about, so I missed, when I was talking about systems, I missed talking about Dubsado. So Dubsado is this new system that I use, and I love Dubsado. Now, this is not sponsored, but Dubsado, if you want to sponsor me, my email's down below. Let's talk that. Let's talk business. Let's talk business. Let's talk business. But Dubsado is an amazing program for creatives, graphic designers, coaches, everything like that. So what Dubsado is it does everything for you. So it has a client portal. So it has a client portal that your clients can access. So instead of sending them 20, 30, 40 emails, you can have a client portal where they can see all their files. They can check off if they like it or not. Everything like that is so neat. You also have Dubsado also sends out emails, so it's a workflow on there, and it sends out emails to your clients. So what you would do is you start with a lead form. So you start with the lead form. Once they fill out that lead form, then it's kind of like an automated system. So once they send out that lead form, you can approve it, or you can choose for Dubsado to automatically send them an invoice. So it's not like you have to send the invoice yourself. Dubsado automatically sends them the contract, the invoice. You can do payment plans on Dubsado. You can connect your Stripe on there. They can make appointments with you on there. It's just so much, and it basically organizes the hell out of your life when you're a designer. Like, it's not overwhelming. I was using Jotform at first, and it was like I would have so many different forms and stuff to fill out. It would just be crazy. It was so unorganized, but Dubsado just made my life so much organized. So y'all should definitely look into Dubsado if you're trying to be a creative. It will organize your life. I really don't know how to explain it. I guess I could make an in-depth video. I'm still learning Dubsado a little bit, but what I do know is bomb. And I forgot to talk about equipment. So we talked about systems, but now we're gonna talk about equipment. I use a MacBook. I have a MacBook Air and I have an iMac. So I mainly do everything on my iMac because this is just a personal preference, but I like to work on a desktop because it helps me focus better. Because I feel like with a laptop, I just get lackadaisy, and I just, you know, like I'll be having my laptop and I'll be laying in the bed with my laptop and I'll fall asleep with my laptop right there in my lap. Like, but if I have a desktop, it forces me to sit at my desk and sit up straight and look directly at it. The screen is big, it's right in my face. So it's just a personal preference. But you can definitely use a iMac, or you can use a MacBook. So I love my iMac. If you computer that has a lot of space, because you're gonna need a lot of space. My computer is a 256 gig and it works amazing. So I definitely suggest for you to get a 256 gigabyte computer or higher, because you gonna need the space. Because I'm telling you, when you're designing and that run out of space comes up, I'd be ready to take my computer and just throw it over the balcony. Like, I just like, why? Like, I'd be like, why? That'd be me. But yeah, you guys, that's about it. If I forgot anything in this video that you guys have a question about within graphic design, please leave in the comments below, because I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I can't remember. I should have wrote it down. And this is like my 4th time filming this video, because I will do the video halfway through and I'm like, shoot, I forgot this. But Anything I forgot, just leave it in the comments below. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next one.